Hello, Sarah Sabian, Executive Leadership and Intuition Coach here. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about change location, change perspective. So this is helpful if you are trying to create new, more positive habits. Let me briefly explain how it works. Our brain starts to associate certain locations with certain things happening. And that happens through repetition over time until it's something that we do pretty unconsciously, otherwise known as a habit. So, for example, you might associate the kitchen with cooking. You might associate a particular comfortable chair as somewhere that you go to meditate. You might associate your desk with, work and feeling overwhelmed. Hopefully not. But you will no doubt have some association with your office space and the work that you do. You may associate your bed with sleeping or other activities as well. Hopefully you're taking my point from this. Now, you can use this to your advantage if there is something in the workplace that you want to be doing more of that you are just not doing enough of, or in your opinion, you're not doing enough of. So, something very common among clients is feeling like they get dragged into everything. So, they get dragged into operational detail, they're getting dragged into meetings, there's emails buzzing over here, everything's going on all the time. So, depending on whether a lot of their meetings are virtual or whether they're in person or whether they're a mixture of both, they will no doubt come to associate their desk with being on, doing emails, talking to people online, and certain meeting rooms with potentially meeting people in person. But let's say they really wish that they had more time for reflective thinking, for strategic thinking, which would enable them to streamline and apply more discernment into what they get involved in versus what they don't get involved in. Because obviously it's hard to measure that if you're not understanding the big picture and the bigger priorities. The problem is it's easy to lose sight of that when you're on this treadmill of distraction all the time. So it is helpful to create a separate space that is devoted to that. You can call it reflective thinking, you could call it strategic thinking, what you want to call it, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. But it's a space that you go to do a specific type of thing. And once you've repeated that enough times, your brain automatically goes to that place when you change location. So in an office space, if being at your desk doesn't allow you to get into that reflective state, or let's say you work part of the time from home, being in your office space doesn't really allow you to get into that reflective state, you're going to pick another location specifically for that purpose. So it could be a separate meeting room if you work in an office. It could be that you put a comfy chair in your office that is your space away from your desk. It could be that you go outside. It could be that you like to have the buzz and noise around you and you want to go to a specific coffee shop. Pick a location and start the process of association. And that means repeating it consistently. So ideally every day, 10 minutes doing that, or if not, a few times a week for 15 minutes to half an hour, so that you are deliberately stimulating this change in mindset so that you can focus on the things that are really important for you as a leader rather than getting caught up all the time in putting out fires and getting dragged into what other people are doing.